All right, so now let's get into presenting the deal. So for this one is the total raise was $2.7 million of equity. Most of that went to capital improvements, and then also a portion of that went towards the down payment. So I didn't have that cash laying around, neither nor did my partner. So what we did is we did a syndication and went out and raised the money. So one thing is, if you are committed enough, let's say you don't have the cash, there is always a way. And one of the favorite quotes that I learned is creativity follows commitment. So if you're committed enough, you'll find a creative way to be able to come up with the funds. And the next question I know you're asking is, where do you find investors? So starting with your friends and family, your power base, because people do business with who they know, like, and trust. So starting there, and then you start to branch out to outside investors from that standpoint. So ways I was able to leverage is digital marketing. So just pushing out content out there via my podcast, being on others' podcasts. BiggerPockets is a phenomenal tool in itself, is a way to find investors and collaborate with others. But at the end of the day, it's all about value, value, value. And what I mean by that is someone on the other end, let's say they have the money in the stock market or retirement funds that's just sitting there, or they're not getting a return that they want. That's the value that you offer to them, and you're providing them an opportunity. So that's what I wanted to mention. And the go-to in terms of when raising money for this is not only where we were calling investors. So we got through the due diligence and the feasibility period, and we got the green light that, hey, everything looks good and promising. And then that's when we started to raise money to then notify our investors that, hey, the opportunity is now available. And then from there is the first thing was doing a webinar. And so a couple things that you want to have in your presentation is, one, that investors want to see, what is your business model? What is your actual plan to do with this? Whether you're doing a value add, so putting in the necessary improvements, pushing up the value of the deal, and then maybe selling. On this one in particular, this is a buy and hold, so plan on refinancing versus selling the property. They want to better understand the market, the floor plans, the numbers is very, very crucial in terms of what investors want to see. What is the cash on cash? What is the internal rate of return? What is going to be their overall return on their money? So these are all the key things you want to hit on in your presentation. More details about the actual property, the community. What is the unit mix? What is the average rent and what you plan on pushing the rents up to? What are comparable properties to verify what you're pushing those rents up to? What's the crime rate? What's the school? So these are all the things that you want to touch on to give your investor partners all the information that will help them complete their due diligence. Of course, you always encourage for them to do due diligence on top of everything that you provide to them. So I mentioned crime rate, details with the schools. You want to see good schools, and also the median income associated with the property, the market in itself. Here in Indianapolis, for instance, that we detail in our presentation is that it is very diverse in terms of the businesses that are headquartered downtown, the attractions. So you've got Simon Property Group, which is one of the largest real estate investment trusts in the world. You've got Eli Lilly, which is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies. You've got Blue Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, something along those lines, that is the insurance company. So very diverse. You got Indy 500, which is one of the largest attractions in terms of racing. So those are some things that I just wanted to detail that you really want to have within your presentation. And then towards the end, that's when you just open it up to question and answer. And what I found is investors really like to dig into the numbers and ask, did you stress test it? What are your assumptions in terms of your underwriting? So that's why it's always key to have someone who knows numbers, because they will definitely press you on that, and you want to ensure that you got that. So here is just a little bit in terms of the overall presentation, where you see there's the property overview, how many units, the age, You've got here the overview, so the layout, all the various floor plans, just an overview in terms of the current state of the units. And then talks about general economics on the market. So those are just a couple elements that are conveyed in here that you want to have in your webinar. And then at the end, you have your call to action. Visit here to do your due diligence and invest. Always having that call to action is very critical at the end, you guys. So go ahead and comment below in terms of what has been your go-to when you are raising money from investors. Ours is calls, so touching base with those investors. And even before that point is you still want to nurture those relationships and not just make it, okay, now you reach out to them once you actually have an opportunity. And so would love to hear what are your go-tos, because ours is calling, and then also webinars, and then in addition to that is email. So I'll catch you on the next video, you guys.